The brilliance of Professor Himanshu Rai, no negotiations there.
Every person has a perception that management can be learned through different ways. Some learn through books, some learn through colleges. But there is this one man who gave a very different perspective to it. He taught us business through Mahabharata, which was very new to me and made me realize that a knowledge on business can be learned through different aspects of our life. Negotiation is something that we do in every aspect of our life, be it with family, be it with friends, or within ourselves when we are in a dilemma. But Professor Rai, your negotiation teachings have given a very different dimension to our negotiation skills, and I'm sure we will use it in a most productive way. Thank you would be an understatement because you knew how to create or rather convert our mistakes into a lesson. You knew how to convert our pressure into productivity and our skills into a strength, and you brought the best out of us.
The first time I met Professor Rai was when he took my interview for MISB Bocconi. And what struck me was his ability to break questions down into really how fundamentally you understood the topic at hand. And that is something that has remained with me throughout. In fact, in his negotiation classes, he started by teaching us the basic fundamentals of communication, which forced us to think deeply about what we were actually doing. And it kind of inspires you to get that kind of clarity of thought which we tend to lose focus of while we're studying all the time. The other thing I really admire about him is his well-rounded personality. For me, he's the kind of person you look up to because he's good at everything. He's a mountaineer, he reads a lot, he talks about books that I haven't heard of and have to go back and Google them. He talks about philosophy and he talks about negotiation, and then he also teaches us a little bit of math in the negotiation classes.
It's been a privilege to speak in your farewell. This is the amount of respect probably me and surely the whole class has for him. He's not only a very good teacher, but I would say he's a perfect role model to look up to. Everything about him is amazing. Probably the way he speaks, his attire, his command over the class, his command over the language, and Sanskrit. Every time you would speak a shlok in Sanskrit, I'm like, wow, I need to learn Sanskrit like him. I just want to thank you, Professor, not only for teaching me one of the most difficult subject, negotiation, but also for making me a very good student, a very good person, and a very good leader. I've learned this from every interaction that I had with you over these past 2 years. Probably not many of them, but as few as we had, I learned every bit of it.
How often do you get a chance to meet your role model? Well, I have been really lucky like that. It would be an understatement to say that you would be Miss Professor Rai.
Two people who I admire or revere in my life are going to leave their respective positions in this month. What a coincidence. It is our RBI Governor, Mr. Raghuram Rajan, and our Dean, Professor Himanshu Rai. So, when you look up to these two people, let's say if you take our Dean, there's a certain aura around him whenever you see him. There's a sense of calmness and reassurance when he's around campus, when you see him. It's like, you know that whatever may go wrong, come what may, you know that Professor Rai is around. So, that is one thing I'll definitely miss. The next is, I don't know how MISB Bocconi is perceived outside when you go into the industry, when you go into the corporate world. But I know that when I leave after my second year, I'll leave with my head held high and proudly say I was a student of Professor Himanshu Rai and he was a dean when I studied here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.